All right, so she's ready. Miss Old Hollywood, Dianne Callahan. All right, cut. That's it for that. Joy. J-O-Y. 3 letters. It's a teeny tiny word, but it's the biggest thing that we can have on the face of this beautiful planet. It's why we're here, to experience the human expression of our very soul, and to experience this planet and all of its beauty and all of the gorgeousness and all of the connectedness and all of the relationships. It's 4JOY. Do you agree with me? Now, I'm not going to tell any stories about big piles of horse crap. Okay, just, Peter did say I was following him, but I'm not going to go in that direction. Tonight, so far, you've heard some really, really vulnerable, beautiful stories. Doreen, I see you and I love you. So many stories here tonight. Stories of Terry, I see you and I love you. Peter, you know I love you. Peter and I have been together since college, and we're old. So that was back in the 80s. So just imagine what we looked like back then. But we've heard some beautiful wisdom being shared in this room. That alone is a joy. Do you think so? Yeah, right? Thank you, Kim. And we've also heard some human reality about loss, about grief, about figuring out what to do next. Because we don't plot out our life like, I'm going to get a degree and I'm going to have this job and I'm going to get married and then that guy's going to die, or gal. And then we're going to do whatever. We don't have our next step all plotted out from that, right? But what I want to talk about tonight is the fact, absolute. That's a fact, it's truth. It's not fake facts, it's not all the stuff you hear truth called these days. The fact that more than one thing can be and is true in the same moment. How many in this room believe that to be true? Thank you. I know this to be true because it has embodied itself within me. Okay. Last night was a celebration of life for my dearest brother. And just last October, we lost our beautiful mother. So I've been living in a season of struggle, of loss, and of grief, as have so many of you who have shared bravely on the stage. My brother Jim passed away on March 23rd. But don't you know, just 5 days later, on March 28th, my grandson was born. William Ellis Callahan came into this world just a few days after my amazing brother, Jim Hamry, left this world, this earth world. He's still with us, you know. I mean, he's still alive and doing his thing. But I wanted to point that out, not because I wanted to tell you how I've overcome the grief or all the things that so many in this room have shared, but just so that you can know that more than one thing can be true at the same time. One beautiful soul went and another beautiful soul came. And so many things that we go through are not blighting out other things. They're just living in the vicinity of all the other stuff, all the joyful stuff. Or you could say all the joyful stuff is living in the vicinity of the hard stuff, because that's the human condition. That's what it means to come to this planet and be a soul living a human life. So something that happened, so my brother started his trajectory in January. And those of you who live in California remember that January was incredibly beautiful. It was warm, it was lovely, the sun was shining, it was weird, right? It was odd. And so I was his person. I'm one of 5 total kids, right? He was the second oldest, and I was the the second youngest. So I took him to all his appointments, and so we went to the hospital for him to have his angiogram, and that was going to take a while. So I went outside, and I sat on a bench, and the sun was shining, and I could feel the warmth on my skin. And I saw birds, and I could hear their song with my ears. And I could smell the freshness of the day, and I sat there and reveled in it. And what I did was something that's purely neuroscience, which I'm going to tell you about in just a moment. But I thought to myself, what a beautiful moment this is. I am sitting outside in the sunshine in January. I'm experiencing the joy of birds and birdsong and butterflies and flowers, all these things that we know to be universally joyful things. Are those joyful things to you too? A beautiful sky, birdsong, butterflies, flowers, right? And what I realized is something that's been percolating in my head for a while is, you know how, now I'm going to make a left turn here to the neuroscience for just a moment. We all know something called negativity bias, right? Like human beings have a negativity bias because we had to keep ourselves safe when the brontosauruses roamed the earth and we had to run the other way. And yes, our negativity bias sometimes keeps us alive, keeps us out of danger. That's great. Problem is, so thank you, negativity bias, we're here. Problem is, that negativity voice is loud. It takes up all the energy. It hurts your ears. It takes up all the moments in your life if you let it. And what I've been thinking about and researching is something different. It's our joy bias. Because we, as humans, are born with a seed of joy planted inside of us. Yeah, we have that seed of negativity, don't get run over by a car, whatever. Don't get in that elevator. But we have a seed of joy bias. But it's quiet. It's little. It's just a little seed in there. And if we don't water it, if we don't throw some sunlight on it, it's going to get blurred out by the negativity bias. So what I wanted to leave you with this evening is this truth. We can develop our joy bias. And it's as simple as not only noticing the joyful things, like a little baby's laugh, a little toddler's laugh, that's joyful. Or something somebody says to you that's a beautiful compliment, that's joyful. It's more than just being like, oh, that was nice, thank you, and going about your business. It's about encoding that moment, those moments, into our brain. Because the negativity is already encoded. We came with those factory settings, right? So our job, our opportunity, our invitation is to encode all the joy we can possibly get into our brain. And the way we do that is by savoring that moment. Savor with like what we're smelling, what we're seeing, what we're thinking, what we hear, all those things so that they pop up. Because one of the major neuroscience researchers named Brian Hebb, he created this theory that neurons that fire together wire together. Meaning that the things that we think about repeatedly with a lot of energy and with a lot of reward, whatever that looks like, they are going to create neural pathways that are going to be pop-up ads in our life. Who gets on a freeway and all of a sudden notices all the a-holes driving along with you, right? In Southern California, hello! That's because we give a lot of energy to those moments, right? And so you have neural pathways now where you see somebody driving like a jerk, you're like, whoa, so mad, because you've trained your brain to do that. So the flip side is we can train our brain to notice all the joy in the world that is here for us, meant for us, ready for us. Does that make sense? Have any of you guys worked on that at all? Like encoding the joy in your brain? I saw that. I implore you to start getting good at this. Encode the joyful moments in your brain so that they will pop up on the regular and you will be able to experience all the joy, even in the midst of the grief, the loss, the hurt, the pain, because we are meant to experience both. Does that make sense to you guys? Okay, everybody stand up. You know, I got to do something. I got to make you stand up. I want you to say what I say. Okay, you ready? Joy is here for me. Joy is here for me. I think you can do better. Joy is here for me. Joy is here for me. And I am joy. Right? You are joy. You don't just experience it, you are joy. So, I want to tell you one last thing. I've published a lot of books with Publishing Joy with Kim and Cheyenne, and I'm so proud of them. But my very first book, I published all on my little lonesome, and it's called Lighthearted Life, Simple Strategies to Live a Joy-Filled Life, even in the stormiest times. I wrote this in the middle of one of my 4 cancer fights, so I knew a little something about storm. So here's the thing. Underneath 6 of the chairs in this room right now tonight is a little Post-it note that says joy is all around. Look under your chair and see if you've got a Post-it note that says joy is all around. And if you don't see it under your chair, maybe it's under an unseated chair, somebody else's chair that they're not sitting there. Does anybody have one? Yes, there are 6 in this room. When we're done, when we move on to the music and the dancing and the fun, come see me because I have a copy of that book, Lighthearted Life, signed, and I would love to give it to you. So joy is all around us, and we are joy.